I want you to write 3 sentences about different habits that people have. I want you to write 3 sentences about different types of dog. I want you to write 3 sentences about different actions that dogs do. I want you to write 3 sentences about chickens and what they do. And 3 sentences about the actions or habits of insects. 3 sentences about different types of insect. I want you to write 5 sentences about the different parts of man and what those parts are used for. I want you to write 3 sentences about different parts of a tree and what those parts may be used for. I want you to write 3 sentences about different parts of a car. 3 sentences about different parts of a cooker. And 3 sentences about different parts of a knife and what those parts are used for. I want you to write 3 sentences about the causes of fires. I want you to write 3 sentences about extravagance. That's spending too much money on things like having a very extravagant simcha or having a very extravagant dinner, spending far too much money on it. So 3 sentences about why people do that. Why do people spend too much money on big fancy dinners and things? 3 sentences about that. 3 sentences about the causes of war. 3 sentences about the causes of anger. What makes things or people angry? 3 sentences about that. 3 sentences about the causes of happiness. And 3 sentences about the causes of grief. Grief is the sad feeling you have after someone dies, for example. So 3 sentences about the causes of grief. I want you to write 3 sentences about the consequences of fire and those things that happen because there are fires. So what are things that happen as a result of fires? So 3 sentences about the consequences of fires. 3 sentences about the consequences of extravagance. Remember, extravagance is spending too much on parties and things like that. 3 sentences about the consequences of extravagance. What can happen as a result of that? 3 sentences about the consequences of war. That's what happens as a result of war. 3 sentences about the consequences of anger. And that's what can happen because of anger. 3 sentences about the consequences of happiness. And that's what can happen as or because of happiness. And 3 sentences about the consequences of grief. I want you to write 1 sentence stating a fact about fire. 1 sentence stating a fact about extravagance. 1 sentence stating a fact about war. 1 sentence stating a fact about anger. 1 sentence stating a fact about happiness. And 1 sentence stating a fact about grief. And that's the end of this exercise.